Although we seldom think about it, our lifestyle is intimately connected with and highly dependent on agriculture. In this lecture, we will examine key concepts in spatial patterns and agricultural geographies to include agricultural systems, such as different types of subsistent farming. These topics are important to geography because of how and why the spatial patterns of agriculture have emerged and diffused in a global setting. When we think of agriculture in terms of a system, we include the land, the inputs of seeds, fertilizer, etc., the outputs produced, the consumers, and the various flows among the different components. One agricultural system is subsistence agriculture. Subsistence agriculture is a farming system that is largely independent of purchased inputs and in which outputs are typically used or consumed by farmers and their family or extended family. One form of subsistence agriculture is shifting cultivation, or also called swidden or slash and burn. This system uses fire to clear vegetation in order to create fields for crops. It is based on a cycle of land rotation that allows fallow periods. The example shows shifting cultivation where it has been practiced for thousands of years in the tropical and subtropical regions of the world. The land is usually owned or controlled by local families or by an entire village. Although the total area of land controlled by a village can be sizable, individual fields are small, perhaps 5 acres. Some farmers in shifting cultivation plant 2 or more crops in a field at the same time, which is known as double intercropping. Another technique used in shifting cultivation is agroforestry. This is the purposeful integration of trees with crops and/or livestock in the same field simultaneously or sequentially, one after the other, whereas this helps maintain adequate yields and improve soil. There are no questions to answer here, but please pause the video and study the diagram on shifting cultivation. Pastoralism is another technique used in subsistence agriculture. Pastoralism is an agricultural system in which animal husbandry, based on open grazing of herd animals, is the sole or dominant farming activity. Because pastures cannot support livestock year-round, farmers engage in transhumance. Transhumance is the moving of the livestock on a seasonal basis to new pastures or water sources. Yak herders in India practice vertical transhumance, as shown in the upper photo, which is moving their herds into mountain pastures in the summer and into lowland pastures in the winter. In Nigeria, the Fulani practice horizontal transhumance, moving their cattle north to avoid the brunt of the wet season. They return south in the dry season. In addition, governmental policies can cause pastoralism to break down. The creation of wildlife conservation areas in Tanzania has reduced the rangelands and mobility of the Maasai herders, like the one shown in the bottom photo. Wet rice farming, which is rice grown in a flooded field, is also used in subsistence agriculture. Wet rice cultivation begins as seeds that are sown in planting beds. In 1 to 2 months, the seedlings will be ready for transplanting, and the wet field where the rice seedlings will grow to maturity, the paddy, is plowed. Wet rice farming is also an example of intensive agriculture, where the input of labor, capital, and/or equipment per unit area of land are high. If these farmers only hold a small portion of land, then that is considered smallholder agriculture, which is a farming system characterized by small farms where the household is the main scale of agricultural production and consumption. If this is the case, the technique of double cropping may occur to be able to feed the family throughout the year. Double cropping is the planting and harvesting of 2 complete cycles of crops in 1 year on the same field. In the photo at the bottom, wet rice cultivation takes place on hillside terraces in Longshan, China. In smallholder wet rice systems, most rice is consumed by the members of the household, but any surplus rice is sold. Households also typically keep pigs or poultry and cultivate small plots for vegetables. In the photo at the top, women in Vietnam transplant rice seedlings into a field that had been flooded with water. Workers apply large amounts of fertilizer, manually weed and harvest the rice, and after harvesting thresh it. Women contribute half or more of the labor through their work transplanting, weeding, harvesting, and threshing. Finally, smallholder crop and livestock farming are also a system of subsistence agriculture. The picture on the left shows a smallholder farm in the Andes Mountains of Peru. Smallholders are more likely to depend on rainfall than on irrigation for water on their farms. The photo on the right shows a Nigerian woman carrying her baby and cassava home from the field. The root crop is a staple starch across sub-Saharan Africa. Please pause the video, study the map, and answer the following. What spatial inference can you make about subsistence agriculture in terms of development? In your own words, using the text as a guide, be thorough and specific with your answer.